Fresno County voters will soon decide on several local measures in the upcoming March 5th election. And two of those items, Measure A and Measure B, would change the county charter, providing more power to the county's Board of Supervisors. Here to speak more on this Wired Wednesday, I'm joined by GVWire.com senior reporter David Taub to explain why. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Christina.
I'd love to have you here, and we're going to begin with Measure A. It's dealing with when to elect the sheriff and district attorney. What will that do?
Well, right now, a new state law changed when the two most powerful elected law enforcement positions will be elected. It was during the same years with the governors elected, 2026, 2030. But the new state law now changes to when the president will be elected. So that's 2028, 2032. The county wants to change it back to 2026 and 2030. So they are asking voters to change the charter to give them that power. But, it's going to be a little sticky. Even if it does pass, now you're conflicting with state law, and the state law is never quite clear. And if it does pass, I see this going to the court system to ultimately decide.
Oh my goodness, it could go that far.
I think so. I mean, when you have the county law conflicting with the state law, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky, to say the least.
Okay, and who is for Measure A and who's against it?
Well, the County Board of Supervisors are the one who put this on the ballot, and the ones who are writing the argument for it are County Supervisors Nathan Magsig and Steve Brandow. Now, interesting that those who are writing the argument against it are also two state legislators. It is Joaquin Arambula, the state assemblyman, and Ana Caballero, a state senator. So, the sheriff, John Zanoni, and district attorney Lisa Smitkamp, at least in the state law right now, normally they'd be re-elected in 2026, but they'd have a one-time extension into 2028. But if it's county voters decide to go back to the, other cycle, right, it's going to get a little messy.
Absolutely. And is there a possibility this could even head to court?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I think so if it passes. I've asked State Attorney General Rob Bonta what he's going to do. He's not saying anything, but I imagine it might go back to court.
And of course, we can't leave here without talking about Measure B. This deals with the power to rename locations. What this does have to do with formerly known as Squaw Valley. Now some recognize it as Yokuts Valley. Well, yeah, it depends on who you talk to. The county still recognizes Squaw Valley. The federal government, KMPH, recognizes it as Yokuts Valley. What Measure B would do, it's asking voters to, again, change the state or the county charter to directly give the County Board of Supervisors the power to name or rename place names. Once again, that might conflict with the state law. The County Board of Supervisors is already suing the state in that, and that's headed to the appeal process. A judge ruled for the state initially on this one. Sure. The county is appealing it. So even if this passes again, once again, it's going to create confusion. I see the courts probably going to wind up deciding this one, Measure B, if it passes as well. Wow. Who gets to name these places. And of course, who supports it and who's against it. I think I have a pretty good idea. Yeah, once again, it's the same folks. Brandow and Magsig are writing the arguments for it, and Caballero and Arambula and a couple others are writing the arguments against it, and they're saying, hey, you know what? Squaw Valley is an offensive name. That's why others are recognizing it as Yokuts Valley, and the county shouldn't have that power. Now, the county is already suing the state over who gets to name locations. Will Measure B have any impact? It could. Once again, if the voters say we're going to give this specific direct power to the Board of Supervisors, once again, you're conflicting with state law. And there's already a lawsuit on this, and there might be another legal action coming from the state if this passes. So it's going to get messy if it passes. But, the county and the state have been kind of clashing on several issues, so why not two more? There you go. David Taub with GV Wire. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Great Day and really walking us through each of these measures. We have more clarity thanks to you this morning. Thank you. We'll be right back after this.